On this Untitled interview edition of the Untitled Film Project Podcast, we are joined by D2 Montiel, director of the new movie RIFF RAFF, hitting theaters February 28th. Sir, thank you so much for doing this. Really appreciate your time.
Happy to be here. What's happening?
How did a lot actually, because this movie is awesome. How did this project find your doorstep? Because I noticed you didn't write it also. So how did this find you?
Well, this was a guy named PJ Ransone, who's an actor I love, said, "Hey man, you got to read this script. But it's a play actually, all in a room." So I read it and I thought it felt like Virginia Woolf, but everybody's Virginia Woolf. So I got really excited, and got to meet John, who wrote it, and started talking about bringing it outside of the room and all this kind of fun stuff to do. And then the journey begins of madness, and here we are. It's that's a quick version of the insanity, but hey.
What is it like to debut a film at a film festival like you have with this one, of course, and then wait months to give it to the general public? What is that like for a director?
It's so weird, It's kind of like I'm a nut that's always on to all these things, and then you gotta, I worked with a good one of my best friends is an editor, and he says it's so funny. I've been sitting in a room staring at Jennifer Coolidge for 6 months, and she doesn't know who I am. Like you walk up, and you're like, "Hi," and they're like, "Get out of here!" So it's odd. It's like you had this. It's like Robin Williams once said to me. We worked together years ago, and he says it's like a circus life. We get utterly obsessed with each other's deepest everything for about 4 months, and then we disappear into the world, and we see each other 3 years later. And we're not sure who you are, So that's how this weird process is. You're at a festival again, and then everyone goes back to their other world. So I like being in this world.
You mentioned the late great Robin Williams. You've directed some incredible actors: Al Pacino, Rosario Dawson, Gary Oldman, Juliette Binoche, now Bill Murray, of course. When you have actors of that caliber, and I mean this in the best possible way, does it make your job easier because they're that good, or more difficult, again, in the best possible way, because they're that good?
It's weird. I mean, I remember, with my first movie, I remember I was working in the dub room, with no plan really, and Robert Downey was making a record in there, and I remember he said to me, we started talking about making a movie, and I remember being terrified because I'm thinking, oh my God, now I have to know what I'm doing. I have to get film, like all these other things.
Yeah.
If I do a movie starring my friends, I don't have to think about anything. But it's a really good problem to have, But the bottom line is, and I know this sounds like corny stuff or whatever, but with all these famous people in it that are also really talented, it's an independent film, 21 Days in New Jersey, and I know that there's $10,000 movies out there too, but this is a pretty small movie. So the way I see it is, well, if you're going to show up to my movie and hang out in New Jersey you're not here for the payday. If you're coming to my place for the payday, it's probably not the right door you're banging on. And I wonder what you're going to do with this, because you certainly don't need it, And so that's really intriguing to me, but no more intriguing than a guy like Miles Harvey, who plays DJ in RIFF RAFF, who walks into an open call, and I go, oh, like finally, now I have DJ, So I'm just in awe of talented people, I think it's I can't believe that you have the guts to go talk in front of a bunch of people with a light in your face, and do this emotional stuff or crazy stuff, whatever. So it's just a constant state of awe, but you got to get over that too. You can't keep telling Al Pacino, oh my God, you're Al Pacino. That's me, once, and then I try and let it go.
Fair enough. I've been a Bill Murray fan since I saw Ghostbusters as a kid, mid '80s, right? But I've never really been a Pete Davidson fan at all. I don't know, it just didn't really connect with me until this movie. The chemistry between the two is so, in a comedy, of course, is so good. It's palpable on the screen. Did you recognize that? Was there an extra level, or just as a viewer, am I just seeing something that maybe you didn't see because you were too close to the trees?
No, I mean, you see it, I was so excited because they really, as you would hope, you never know, right? I mean, it's a whole can of worms putting, 9 people in a room together of this caliber. You got to hold your breath a little. but immediately I knew that the scenes were with Bill and Pete. I'm a fan, so I thought, okay, I know they're good actors. Strangely, more cinephile than I knew of. Like, oh wow, like you really, know a lot about more than I know about film. I'm watching 90 Day Fiance half the time. But they were really, they connected in a way you would hope for. And I remember them spending a lot of time in the trailer talking about the scenes. And again, like, not to be corny or like some kiss-ass director that's talking about actors, but if you come to this set, you don't need the money, and you don't need the accolades or whatever's going to happen. You must like the role. So you're here for most likely the right reasons. So I had a good feeling about the two of them. And as we started, the first scene we filmed was them in the room with the clerk, and I remember thinking, oh, I love Pete reminded me of like John Cazale in my head, like okay, so odd in this scene. So I really enjoyed that process. But yeah, them connecting was just like a lot of things in film. DJ has to connect with Ed Harris, and you hope it happens quickly, and because you don't have enough time to do the big movie stuff.
Seeing everything culminate at the end of this film was very satisfying, not to mention fun. How difficult is it to direct a movie that needs to hold back certain plot points and character arcs from the audience while still being entertaining throughout?
There used to be a plot point that everybody was surprised, right? And I remember thinking, like, I loved it, right? That's how the play was written, and then there goes to that analogy that you've heard, like in a horror film or a scary scene, you can do a great Michael Myers knife jump and scare the hell out of people, or you can show the knife, the him hiding, like the famous scene in Halloween when he's outside watching the class, and you're scared for the next 20 minutes. So one of the things about one of the twists of this film was it used to be a surprise that nobody saw coming, until it happened. And one of the things talking with the actors about was, no, this is the day that we're going to have to finally talk about this and deal with it. And at first I was against it. And then I thought, oh, okay. Like Sandy would know, today's the day that we're going to talk about this. Well, they do more than talk about it, but so it was not the sixth sense in the sense that you better not know what's coming, people may see twists coming. So it was, I'm not too concerned with that. I just want to enjoy the process because this is not that movie,
Well, people are going to enjoy it at the theaters. Go see it. It comes out February 28th, of course. Dito Montiel, director of the new movie Riff Raff. Again, coming out February 28th. I cannot thank you enough for your time, sir. It's best of luck with the movie. It's a really fun ride.
Thank you, man.
Thank you for listening to the Untitled Film Project Podcast. To support the show, please rate, review, follow, and subscribe. Original music by Jeremy Schwartz. Special thanks to the Music City Film Critics Association. Editing and post-production by Jeremy K. Gover. Voiceover by Chad Bennett.